Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.wordpress.com here. Today is back with the Friendly Wishes series, and I've made a four-way card for you today. And I followed a tutorial on split coast stampers, but this is my version. And the lovely thing about this is, as you can see, it's actually sort of, that spins around in the middle there. So I found it quite difficult to line up on some of these because there isn't a natural midpoint on the Lots of Labels framelit. So I decided I'd have a go at remaking it with the new Sweet and Sassy framelits, which are these lovely heart ones here. And you can see you get two different shapes of heart, this kind of curvy one and the plain heart, which are obviously are lovely. So to start off with, you're going to need 4 pieces of card, which I've cut to 5 3/4 by 4 inches. And that's to make it easier with the scoring, because each of those pieces of card you're going to score straight down the middle at 2 inches. So that's the first thing we're going to do. I've already done the other 3 pieces, rather than you having to watch me do all of them. So what I've done is I've scored it at 2 inches. I'm then going to come in with a ruler and just mark the point at 1 inch, which I'm going to show you. And I'm using one of these pens here, which is a friction pen, or you could use a pencil, but I find the pen actually shows up and you can rub it out afterwards. So you're going to come in at 1 inch and just make a dot. And then what you're going to do is, where that dot is, I'm lining that up at the top of my heart and lining the bottom up here. Then all I'm going to do is run that through my Big Shot. This is where the magnetic platform is really, really useful, because what that does is it holds it in place for you and you get a lot less movement than you would otherwise. You just need to make sure that it is adhering nicely. But there we go, I've run that through, and there's my piece of card, and that just pops straight out of the middle there. Keep the heart to one side because you're going to use that for your sentiment a little bit later. And what I'm now going to use is another new set, which is available literally in a few days, Playful Backgrounds, which I used on the other one as well. I used the bubbles previously, but I'm going to use these little sort of paint swirls here. And all I'm going to do is just come in and stamp around just covering. There we go. I'm just going to come in on the edge there, a little bit there. Okay. So having stamped that, I'm now going to just fold and burnish those, and you do need to burnish these really well. Having done that, I've then got my other 3, which I've already glued together. So I'm going to use a bit of double-sided tape here, tear and tape, or red tape, or you can use your fuse if you want. I felt it was probably going to be easier to use this on this one. And what you're going to do is just glue all the way around the edges. And then before you actually adhere the front panel, you're going to put the string down the middle for the middle decoration. So you're going to get your hearts. So I've got 3 done here already. So I've done the first one with Love You, and then I've stamped some bubbles over 2 of them. Okay, and then I'm leaving the last one, which we've just cut out, blank, because that's going to be where you're going to write your sentiment on the back. And I'm just going to sponge around the very edge of that front heart, just to give it a little bit of dimension. It just finishes it off sometimes, that little bit of sponging. So all I'm going to do is just come in. You can use whatever tool you want, just to sort of sponge. Okay, and you can do the same on these if you want to. So you can sponge like that, and on a curved shape I do find it's best to sponge. If it's a square, then I do find if I want to get just a hint of colour around the edge, I will literally just go direct with the card to the ink pad and just dip it in on the edge. But obviously on a curved shape you're not going to be able to do that. Okay, and so just put a little bit of ink around the edges there. So these again you're going to adhere to each other. Now you might find that wet glue works well for that. Obviously for the purposes of doing it now, wet glue isn't ideal because it isn't going to sort of dry. So all I'm going to do is put some tape on the back of each of these on one side, and then I'll glue them together in a moment. So you're going to fold and burnish these as well. Okay. So having stamped those, and if you find that one of them isn't quite perfect, just before you really burnish, just line it up as I did with that one there. It's the same here. Sometimes you might find it easier to go with the crease. There we go. And then back on itself. That one's worked well. And this one, yeah. Okay. So all we're going to do now is I'm going to take that tape off the back and adhere 3 of them together. So that's going to be my side piece. So I'm going to line that up with the front here. Okay, so that's my side. So I'm now going to put my back on there. So again, just remove the tape. And line it up. As I say, really sort of wet glue is what I tend to use because it gives you that little bit of wriggle room. And then you're going to be sticking this last one on, but don't stick it completely down because you're going to put a piece of tape down the middle with your So down here we want to put, we've got our little sort of heart shape, so what we need to do now is put our string down the middle, and what I'm using here is the just Whisper White Baker's Twine. Just cut yourself off a length, and then down the middle there I'm going to use just a piece of fine red tape. Just put that. And again, wet glue is what I would probably use usually. So I'm just putting that down the middle there. Now this is going to be quite a snug fit because I haven't cut the smaller ones as I did on the other one, so it's going to be interesting to see whether this works out or not. It should still just about fit. So I'm going to put your string down. Just need to line that up. There we go. Okay, so there's our heart shape for the middle, which will spin around hopefully, and just pull it till it's in the right place. Then again, all we're going to do is put some tape down the middle there, or some I'm going to use some quick grab glue down the middle on this one. Okay. And pop that in there. Okay. And while I'm holding that in place, I'm going to go around and just take off the tape so we can put our fourth piece on the back there. So there we go, there's our part, and all I'm going to do is just line up in the middle. Okay. And there we go. All we need to do now is trim our string top and bottom. And there's our four-way fold card using our new sassy framelits. I think looking at it, it might have been better to do it with the slightly smaller one as I did to give more of an aperture for it to spin. But in the meantime, I still think it's rather nice as it is because it's such a flush fit. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.